You're listening to The Dan Nicholl Show.
It's a very special edition of the Dan Nicholl Show this week at the Alfred Dunhill Padel Classic at the Hurlingham Club with a very special guest who I think 48 hours ago, if we had done this interview, I would have introduced you as one of my all-time favourite footballers, one of the modern greats to grace the game. That's all gone out the window because my guest today is Thiago, professional padel player. Because having watched you, I thought you were good at football. You're amazing at padel.
I think we have to correct the professional and then amazing on that. I think it's special with the event, it's special with the cause as well. We're trying to simulate a bit what a player should do in a paddle court, and we're having fun. And as we say, we are here for something bigger than us.
It's an interesting friendship that I think has in part brought you here. A little earlier today I was catching up with Michael Vaughan, the elderly cricketer, and an unlikely friendship. Here we have a Spanish, Italian, Brazilian footballer who's now great mates and great paddle mates with this old England cricketer. But the sport has brought you together and brought you a lot of friendships.
Yeah, exactly. At the end we don't see the flags, we don't see the countries, we just see people through. And I think with Michael, with the core values that we had, we compete many times against each other during paddle and having some drinks together. So why not? He's a great man, has great, as I say, values. I share them. So.
Michael is also something of a neighbour because you don't live too far apart, and this leads to a question that I've been struggling to find an answer for. You have Brazilian heritage. I've spent time in Brazil, beautiful beaches, lovely sunshine. Italian heritage. I was over on the Amalfi Coast last year, beautiful part of the world, and obviously played for Spain. Lots of places, beaches and sunshine, and yet you live in the middle of England in the part of the world that sees sun about 4 times a year. Why is that the choice of home?
I think seeking this childhood dream that is football. So I think I've been in the best countries football-wise. I think that's the main reason, because I was in love with the sport, in love with a sport can transform yourself, how the competition health is, and it's just about football. It was about that.
And it's a part of the world that does have some rather good football teams.
Yeah, these 3 countries, yeah, they have pretty good football.
The legacy that you built up here in particular, I think you were out last night. There's actually Thiago fans in the background you can hear at the moment, but you stepped out of a cab and immediately there were taxi drivers going, Thiago, Thiago, Thiago. You've got this incredible base of fans and supporters in England.
Yeah, as I said, football is huge here in England, and people share a bit the passion of Liverpool in this case. As I say, I've never been fan from my team. I just love football itself, and I had the fortune to play for 3 of the biggest clubs in the world, and the fan base is so big, and you get to know all the clubs as well, the fans clubs. So it's sometimes we feel shy about it, but it's part of our life.
It is an astonishing CV. You've got Bayern Munich, you've got Barcelona, you've got Liverpool. I won't ask you to pick a favourite because that's an impossible question to answer, but 3 very cool cities, not just clubs to have played with. How did they differ in terms of life off the field? What did you enjoy about each of them?
It's as you said, and it's very listed to ask me about what's my favourite club. It's always tough because it catches you in different point of your life. You as a young guy, as a grown man, and also later on as a dad. So it caught you in different moments of your life. So I just enjoyed every second I've been in these 3 cities. And then life, Barcelona is nearly everything what I need, or what I love of a city: beach, good weather, family and friends surrounded. And then Munich is just this calm, breathing football. You can live your life and don't have this kind of heavy backpack to say, okay, I behave as a football player apart from football as well, but it's are my choices. And then here's just pure football. They bleed, they breathe football. So, you know, different kind of setups for each city.
I have a soft spot for all of them, but particularly for Barcelona. Have you ever eaten at a seafood restaurant called Passadís del Pep?
Passadís, no, never been there.
Rumour has it that a lot of the players used to eat there. I mention this because that is the restaurant in Barcelona where I had dinner for the first time with my now wife, and where exactly a year later we got engaged in the same restaurant. So for me, Barcelona
You're a romantic guy.
It was a city of love. And I lead into that because we know you from the outside as Thiago, the great footballer, but I know how important the family is to you, the children, and that really is the focus of who you are today.
Yeah, I think that's why we moved back to Barcelona, because we can have some help around with the kids. Also, we can have this kind of daily normal life that we can meet friends every day, parents every day. So it's the simple things in life that we most appreciated.
The kids are now getting a little bit older. Have they now fully understood, appreciated just how cool their dad is and what he's done?
Yeah, but in those days the information is too big, so now they following the new Lamine Yamal, Scuba Sis, Vinicius, Mbappe. So they following the players that now they are killing it on football. So I'm happy what I've done in football. I did it for myself because I love it. My son, he's a football lover as I am, so I can share that passion with him.
Is it difficult as a dad who's done so much in football to know how much to push your own kids if they start to show a bit of love or interest in the game?
No, I think we just have to follow their dreams, their path, and just to, as I mentioned before, the core values is to have in any sport, we can educate them through sport, and one of them is a commitment you have and the respect you should have for the sport or for the people involved. So it's mainly this kind of two things that I push him too much with that.
Is it, if we come around to your house on a Saturday afternoon, is it likely to be football on the TV and you're
Most
still watching
likely.
closely?
Not just Saturday and Sunday probably.
And maybe some midweek as well.
And some kind of shouts or angry faces of my wife because it's just football there. So. It's a 2v1 right now at home. So
I think my wife and your wife are on the same WhatsApp.
yeah, I think so.
You've got all these amazing clubs that you've played for, but football is now behind you. And amazingly, because I've seen a couple of interviews with you, you've talked about the body just had enough. I watched you on the paddle court, and it's quicksilver, and you're everywhere, and you look 100%. But it just did seem to be the case that the demands of football finally caught up.
Yeah, let's say that probably a football court is 20 times the size of a paddle court, and the spaces, how you have to run, how you have to deal with the situations are a bit different than here. Here are short movements, I can cope with that. And at the end, it's not a professional, let's say, behavior. And it just, okay, the balls that you think you're struggling a bit, you just leave it. So I'm good with that. I can compete pretty good on the sport, and it's not the same as a full court, you know.
When you're sitting on the couch at home shouting at the referee and cheering on the game, do you miss it a lot?
I miss the game, for sure I miss the game. I miss to be involved in the daily routine of a football team and to be on the games like with the boys, competing. But then when I think about how my physicality is to play the game, it's like, okay, not for me anymore.
The highlights for us who watched are many, and you could write many books about them. I often find when I'm talking to the great athletes in any sport, I get surprised by the memories they have, because we often think, well, it must be when you won that final or you scored that amazing goal. Are there one or two games that you look back on with particular fondness that might take people by surprise?
Yeah, for sure, everybody, as you mentioned before, everybody think about moments that they saw on TV, and you think about a game that was a normal game for you, but you struggled the whole week physical, or you helped the team in some way, some partner as well. I think there are like a couple of games that we had, like for Bayern, for Liverpool, that you are injured everywhere, and you say, okay, I have to force to that game. Probably will be an average performance, but then suddenly it's one of the best games you've done. Or when some team is struggling with any situation, personal situation, and suddenly as a team you build up something around him that the team perform amazingly. So I think it's that they remembers, and trophies coming, winnings are coming, but I think they are the important games.
That's a result of the bigger process and everybody around you. You will have had a lot to celebrate, a lot of times to think about football this season, because all your teams have had a pretty good last stretch of it. Let's start with Munich. I've got some Spurs supporting fans who are adamant that it's all about Harry Kane. He has done a lot for them, but it's a Munich team that does keep rolling on and have played some lovely football.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him, for the club as well. Bayern and Liverpool just won the leagues. Barcelona probably they will do tonight. But then when we think about these three teams and we're thinking about, okay, winning leagues is incredible. It's the whole season fighting for it. But then in 1 week, Champions League is coming, and you say, why I'm not in that final? So the three teams, they were big contenders for that.
Have you been surprised at Liverpool post-Jurgen, how well they've done?
Yeah, because there is a transition, and all the transitions are not easy. But then the coaches and the coaching staff, they're doing amazingly. They told me great things about them, and players are happy with them. So it's not surprising, but you expect the transition a bit harder than it was, and they did amazing.
I have indeed. A team who hasn't managed that quite so well is my team. I am a Manchester United fan for my sins, and I watch with my son on TV, often with tears down the cheek. You always had an incredible football brain. What would it take for us to get you, maybe not player coach, but get you into Old Trafford, manager of Manchester United, and get us turned around, Thiago?
Yeah, when we talk about teams, we're not talking about hiring the best player. I think the surrounding of the players, the context you give to them, is the most important. So I think from the board members, they should create a good group of and team around or in each areas of the club, and then from then on you build let's say a methodology idea of the game, and then after that hire a coach and you've got the players the way that the team want to play. I think it's just you need great people around to make a great club.
All right. When you hear the news, Thiago signs for Manchester United management team, this is where you heard it first. I've started the fundraising for it. Speaking of fundraising, a big part of these 2 days is fundraising. The Laureate Sport for Good Foundation, your good friend Michael Vaughan, one of the ambassadors, doing work all over the world. I suspect as you get older, and particularly as you look back on your career and you see the value that sport has given you, the opportunity to then use sport to put something back and to help those kids who need it so much, especially in a fairly cruel world we live in at the moment, becomes even more important to you.
Yeah, I can say that sport transformed my life, transformed teammates and friends' life as well for good. But then as you grow up, you realize that you have to give away what life or the sport gave to you in this case. So we are in this moment that everybody's conscious about it. We are fighting for the same cause. We are making others conscious and try to help us as much as we can for the difficult situation. I never say problems. I don't like the word problems. I say situations that we have to deal with it.
And that's not just you saying the right things for a camera or for a microphone, because you have your own family foundation, and that's something that you're very proud of and that you do a lot of great work with.
Yeah. We started as we were football players. We tried to, part of our incomes was this destination was our foundation to try to create our own programs. We had hostel, we had different programs that we create them for the social, how say in English, the inclusion, we say, inclusive.
Yeah.
We include foreign people that are coming to Barcelona in Spain to be accepted in the society through sport, because we share the values for that, and we teach them and we learn as well, different coaches. And from that we just created a program for them. And now with that we stop, we are just recreating our programs that we can be physically involved with. And also here in Lavis we can learn a lot to share it as well in our place.
I got to visit Football El Mas in Madrid a few weeks ago and play a bit of football with the kids, and I didn't realise the extent, for instance, of child poverty in Spain, and there are a lot of challenges, and it's great to see people like yourself helping to meet those challenges. Yeah. So congratulations for that, and I think the legacy of football that you have is phenomenal, but I suspect your family foundation legacy might prove to be even greater in due course, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think it's not just what we are doing the rest of our life, is more what we pass through our kids afterwards, that this legacy can last long as much as we can, but it's egos apart and trying to make as the best as we can.
In closing, you won some amazing titles, you had an extraordinary career. If you take the very best feeling of the very best title match, game won, and you compare that to the joy of beating Michael Vaughan at padel, which puts the biggest smile on your face?
I think we created a nice group with Nick Bianchi, Ed Robinson and Mike that we called Padel El Clásico, because we're tight games. We play down South Manchester a lot of games and always tight games, and we loved it. And I think it's one of the routines that we will create in the future, to try to play as long as we can each other. And I think it's these boundaries that we created, they're amazing.
It's an incredible thing, sport. Thiago, thank you so much. Lovely having you. Lovely having you here at the paddle. Good luck with the rest of it, and look forward to seeing you add some more trophies from a different sport to your glittering career.
We will try. We'll try to lift today the plate trophy, and we'll see. But if not, we had a great time here, and we play for a good cause as well.
Indeed we do. One of the greats of Bayern Munich, one of the greats of Barcelona, one of the greats of Liverpool, and now one of the greats of global paddle, Thiago, joining me on the Dan Nicholl Show this week.
You're listening to The Dan Nicholl Show.